Good evening and welcome to the weekend. It is Friday, the 10th of February, 2023. And I've got you covered on matters of politics, which is very hot today at the Jubilee Party, as well as business and the score of business, and as well the sporting action. We've got all that in a bulletin tonight. But before we get into all that business, here are our top stories. Tonight on Look Up Weekend,
Honorable Kanini Kega will be the acting Secretary General of Jubilee Party pending a convention of the National Delegates Convention. By saying that, it is automatically Kioni is the former Secretary General of Jubilee Party.
Jubilee Party suspends Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni and Vice Chair David Murathe over gross misconduct as it cozies up to Kenya Kwanza.
Watu mnaona ahadi ambayo walisema ati mimi nikiweka Biblia chini namna hii baada ya wiki mbili bei ya unga itarudi chini.
Raila Odinga leads the Azimio Brigade in Machakos for the public consultative rally.
We have had serious failure in the rains, and you will appreciate when you see the water levels that we have a challenge.
And Masinga Dam to be closed down by March if the rains fail, Energy Cabinet Secretary David Chirchir warns. And welcome once more to the broadcast. I am Nancy Nelima, and our sign language interpreter for tonight is Philister Adundo. Stay with us, and remember you can stream this live broadcast across all our social media platforms where we are at Lookup TV, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Let's begin. Jubilee Party National Delegates Council has suspended the party's Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni and Vice Chairman David Murathe. In radical changes by the leadership of the party, the two have been dropped for allegedly making unilateral decisions without the blessings of the party. The Jubilee Party has forthwith started the process of withdrawing from the opposition coalition Azimio. And as reporter Henry Tende now files, Iala MP Kanini Kega has been picked to replace Kioni in an acting capacity until elections are held in 6 months' time.
A declaration by Azimio leader Raila Odinga that the coalition does not recognize the government of President William Ruto, announcing a series of rallies in defiance, continues to rock the opposition's unity. The Jubilee Party, one of the largest parties in the coalition, has today suspended Party Secretary Jeremiah Kioni and the Vice Chairman David Murathe.
The following party officials are suspended forthwith, and their cases referred to the party internal dispute resolution mechanism for further determination. 1, the Secretary General, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. 2, the National Treasurer, Mr. Kagwe Gichohi. 3, the National Vice Chairman, Honorable David Murathe.
Kioni and Murathe's woes coming in the wake of President Ruto's meeting with 30 Jubilee MPs and a number of ODM lawmakers. These meetings, pundits say, are a calculated move by the head of state to cripple the Azimio coalition and deny it the muscle to fight the government. Today's Jubilee Party resolution serving as a clear statement that President Ruto has made successful raid of the opposition as Kioni and Murathe have been championing Azimio's agenda.
Sababu mojawapo ambayo imefanya Jeremiah Kioni akuwe suspended ni kwenda kuongea maneno ambayo sio msimamo wa chama. Sisi kama Jubilee hatuungi mkono mambo ya masufuria, mambo ya maandamano, mambo ya mabaraza.
Let Kioni know Jubilee Party is not his own kiosk. He has never called us for any PG. He has never given us a party direction. So when he wakes up from his bed, he cannot expect that we will follow him.
The Supreme Court, as a neutral arbiter, made a decision and declared His Excellency President William Ruto as the winner. And therefore, any other shenanigan right now by anybody to say they don't believe in the results and purporting to present to Kenyans something that they cooked in River Road does not make sense.
Jeremiah Kioni's position will now be filled by Iala MP Kanini Kega.
From now, this hour, this minute, it has been resolved that Honorable Kanini Kega will be the acting Secretary General of Jubilee Party pending a convention of the National Delegates Convention.
The party has also announced the beginning of the process to end its marriage with Azimio.
Pending the convening of the Special National Delegates Convention, one, that the National Executive Committee commences the process of exiting the Azimio coalition.
And to affirm the new direction the party intends to take, Jubilee NDC says it recognizes the leadership of President Ruto.
The National Executive Committee engages with the ruling coalition on the possibility of creating a working cooperation arrangement with it.
The NDC move is another blow to Raila Odinga-led Azimio as its members continue to shrink. It will be interesting to see how the coalition re-strategizes itself to mount a formidable opposition to oversight President Ruto's regime. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.
Thank you, Tende, for that story. Now to some more politics, as my leader Raila Odinga has vowed to continue with his People Baraza. Odinga on Friday met residents of Machakos, where he blamed the Kenya Kwanza government of failing to mitigate the high cost of living. Odinga also stressed that he will continue opposing the Kenya Kwanza government, maintaining the Ruto government is in office illegally.
Watu mnaona ahadi ambayo walisema ati mimi nikiweka Biblia chini namna hii, baada ya wiki mbili bei ya unga itarudi chini. Imerudi chini? Imerudi chini? Bei ya mafuta je? Bei ya nauli ya matatu je? Si kila kitu imepanda? Haya yote ni ahadi ambayo Bwana Ruto alipeana Wakenya.
Sababu wanasema kuna majority kwa bunge. Majority hiyo wamenunua na fedha. Ndio mimi nasema mbunge katika county level ama katika National Assembly, lakini kaunti zetu wamesimama imara. Najua waheshimiwa wabunge, wanabunge wa kaunti ya Machakos wako imara.
Wale wakulima ambao wako Kenya mzima, enzi za Rift Valley, wako na mazao ambayo inaozea nyumbani. Wengine wanasema tutaleta mbolea kutoka wapi, alafu wanasema tutawaletea GMO. Wamefanya katiba na watu wengine kule Amerika, wamepewa pesa za kufanya campaign, wanataka warudishe hizo pesa za campaign kwa waletea GMO. Wangapi wamekataa GMO? Wangapi wamekataa GMO?
Away from that, President William Ruto has assured county governments that the Treasury will disburse county-allocated funds on time so as to hasten devolution and smoothen service delivery to Kenyans. Ruto has reiterated that the devolved units of administration are at the center of Kenya's development and is ready to work with all the county bosses.
While addressing the 9th National and County Coordinating Summit that is taking place in Naivasha, Nakuru County, the head of state has pledged to work closely with the county governments, particularly in enhancing agriculture, security, health and housing sectors.
We also pledge to collaboratively explore and develop mechanisms to improve the capacity of devolved units to generate own income, thereby mitigating the vulnerability arising from the reliance of transfer from the national government. Further, we have undertaken to ensure that the transfer of revenue is timely, predictable, and fully complied with by law.
Ruto has also called on the governors and their deputies to enhance harmony, unite, and routinely engage with the national government.
I think we have a duty, we have a responsibility to work together, and I say work together in a very profound manner. Each and everyone seated here was elected by a majority. But there is a minority that did not elect us. And we have a duty to serve those who elected us and those who did not elect us. And no Kenyan should be punished because they went to vote. No Kenyan should suffer no consequence because the candidate they voted for did not win.
President Ruto has however insisted that the culture of hostility, confrontation and litigation is disruptive and delays development in the country.
I am here to emphasize the national government's full commitment to the success of devolution and intention to fulfill its constitutional mandate for this purpose. This commitment is inscribed in our pledge to the people of Kenya to complete the transfer of functions designated for devolution within a short period, as well as other concrete undertakings.
We are working closely to implement the resolutions made in Nanyuki. We shall strengthen the intergovernmental sector working groups and ensure that all strategic issues are canvassed at that level, that the people of Kenya who voted for us into office are looking to see if we will deliver on the promises we made. I urge us all to continue working together collaboratively to ease the burden of the Kenyan, specifically to reduce the cost of living that is plaguing our people.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has insisted that the Kenya Kwanza government is focused on ensuring devolution succeeds as counties have the power to transform Kenya.
Your Excellency, your policy direction on this matter has been cascaded downwards to our national government officials in the counties, and I'm happy to report to you that in my various engagements with the governors, they have confirmed that our officers on the ground are properly aligned, and they have embraced the governors and the county government, and work is going on very seamlessly. Your Excellency, you have wanted this session from day one, but we gave the governors time to settle down, and you had wanted to come and engage the governors, to listen to you and understand you, and to appreciate where you hold devolution.
The meeting comes after there was a standoff between the national government and the counties after the two failed to reach an agreement with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on counties' revenue allocation. The counties had wanted the national government to allocate them 425 billion shillings, or what the Commission of Revenue Allocation had proposed.
Away from that, 2 people have been shot dead and 2 others injured on the Kitale-Lodwar highway after the vehicle they were traveling in was attacked by suspected bandits from the neighboring county of West Pokot. The attack comes at a time when the government has been stressing on security in the northern parts of the country. Phoebe Wangombe now reports.
A bandit attack has once again led to the loss of lives of 2 people in the Kakong area of South Turkana. The 2 were shot dead after the vehicle they were traveling in was attacked by bandits believed to be from the neighboring county of West Pokot.
Then all of a sudden tukwa ambushed. Then rafiki yangu kidogo tu sikujua vile alipigwa risasi, tulisikia tu mlio ya risasi. Then wakati gari dereva alijaribu control gari kidogo. So kuona nini mwenzangu alikuwa amelala chini, kadania maybe ni mshtuko tu labda wa risasi. Mara kidogo hivi nikaona anatoa macho, so nikaona mshike hivi nikashika damu.
According to the matatu driver of Takrift, the vehicle that met the unfortunate ordeal, 4 poachers attacked them and shot at them, killing 2 of the passengers, 1 lady and a man, while 2 students were seriously wounded.
Sasa hiyo picha hapo hivyo, unajua tumepatana nao kwa barabara kigafla tu mbele ya tumepita mbele ya game kwa junction. Sasa tuko tunajua kama ni wahalifu walikuwa wanatembea, ile mang'ombe wao zinakuwa barabarani zikuwa naona. Sasa wakati walishutia kwanza juu, tukaona hapa tuwezi simama. Sasa ndio sisi kujiokoa, wakati tumeenda gari nipeleka zigzag. Wakati gari nipeleka zigzag wakapiga ya pili yosa ikapata gari. Bila ilipata gari ikapiga seat number 7. Seat number 7 ikajeruhi number 6. Lakini risasi 2 hizo tuliziepa.
On the other hand, Turkana East MP Honorable Nicholas Nixon has said that they as leaders are tired of the war between the people of Pokot and Turkana. He has asked the government not to intervene in this war but to stay away from it and let them solve it their way.
Wale askari wako huko ni mzuri tu wapeleke kwingine area nyingine ya Kenya. Wasaidie wa Kenya wengine kwa sababu sasa ni wachache, hakuna kitu watafanya. Tumeongea maneno NPR imekuwa sasa kama sijui unaomba nani, na ni kitu watu wanakufa kila siku, na unaendelea tu kusema serikali saidia. Sasa hiyo kusaidia serikali hata hatutaki.
However, the residents of that area have pleaded with the government to take quick action and place enough security along the Kitale-Lodwar Road.
Sisi tumeamua na tumesema kwamba tafadhali haya maneno hatutaki tena na hatukubali tena maneno hayo. Tunahitaji hiyo maneno, kama ni Wapokot, kama ni kukaa mzuri tukae na usalama.
Turkana County Police Commander Samuel Ndanyi has said that the police officers have taken control on the Kitale-Lodwar highway to ensure safety. The injured students were rushed to Lodwar Referral Hospital while the deceased were taken to the Lodwar mortuary. Phoebe Wangombe, Look Up TV.
Thank you, Phoebe, for that story. The Cabinet Secretary for Energy, Davis Chirchir, has said the Masinga Dam might be closed down due to reduction in water levels if the situation does not improve by March 10th. The lower water levels being experienced at the Masinga Dam are due to the lack of rain in the country.
Energy CS David Chirchir has warned that Masinga Dam, which produces 40 megawatts, could be closed if the weather patterns don't improve.
You don't have enough water. What basically that means is we'll not be able to generate. What we might be doing in a short while might be, if it gets worse, we'll be closing Masinga, which is a 40 megawatt generation. But Masinga is used as a reservoir to hold water for the downstream generation. So if we have to close Masinga, I guess what the engineers will do is to push all the water down to the cascades to support the generation downstream. We hope we don't have to get there.
Speaking at Kamburu Dam during a visit to the Seven Forks Dam, the CS noted that the country has not received enough rainfall, leading to lower water levels at Masinga Dam, which also acts as a reservoir for the other 4 dams, namely Kamburu, Gitaru, Kindaruma, and Kambere.
As we are all aware, for the last 5 years, we have had serious failure in the rains, and you will appreciate when you see the water levels that we have a challenge. So we're here today to basically appreciate the management of the hydrology and what we have to do to basically make sure that the water levels are able to support us through the period before we get our long rains.
The CS noted that if the catchment areas around Mount Kenya that feed River Tana do not receive rainfall by March 10th, the Kenyan will scale down power production. He appreciated the management of hydrology and urged the management to make sure that the water levels are able to support the people through the period before getting long rains. Gladys Masharia, Look Up TV.
That story by Gladys Masharia takes us for a very fast break here on the program. So much more on the other side. The hashtag is #LookUpWeekend. Don't go too far.
What's going on? Yuko na rafiki yake Musa.
Adam. Msichana watu wewe umempangia nini?
Nani?
Lazima tujue kwa jambo linalofuatia kwetu ni ndoa.
Nini?
Ndoa hii.
Doris, unaongea nini?
Pia vile hii kazi ilivyo muhimu kwako wewe, hata mimi halikadhalika ni muhimu.
Sitoshi. Kuna mtu hivi sasa anatafuta atakula nini leo?
Mama, nimesoma mama, nimehitimu mama, na vyeti vyote. Kwa nini mashaa kweli?
Wewe si family hapa. Kuzaa si kama kwenda haja.
The man.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Tonight, the topic of discussion, emotions. At what point should a man cry?
Crying does not show you that you are now emotionally mature.
Okay, does it make
In
you weak?
fact, to some extent, it's just you're weak.
Who came up with the narrative that men are not supposed to cry? Women are allowed to cry, but as a man, you're not allowed to cry.
We will not notice your stability when you are shedding tears and mucus in the same quantities. I will let you
Listen. Those who cry, do you refer to them as weak? In my own opinion, you can.
No, huyu anatakikana viboko sana. Hivi vijana wa hii hapa ya microwave, anatakikana viboko nyingi sana.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Look Up TV. The hashtag is Look Up Weekend. I'm Nelima. Our sign language interpreter for tonight is Felista Adundo. Kenya's population is growing at a faster rate of 19.6% than the country's 9.8% gross national income output. This is according to the latest Global Hunger Index report. This comes in the wake of concern over high unemployment rate that translates to high dependency rate on the employed. Furthermore, the ongoing prolonged drought has continued to worsen the situation. Cecilia Lubanga now reports.
Samburu County is among 24 counties reeling under the prolonged drought, with 55% of its population facing starvation. Water has been an issue for over 3 years, with children and mothers forced to trek for long hours and distances in search of water.
Losi ilikaa karibu miaka 4 bila maji. Na tuliteseka sana. Watu waliteseka, wamama walikuwa wanakaa kwa hii. Sijui kama unaona hii mahali pale karibu na ile miti. Watu walikuwa wanachota maji mpaka saa 8 usiku.
Kenya Red Cross is working on various interventions, among them being this water point that comes as a relief for the residents who already lost a good number of livestock to drought.
Tuko na wenzetu wa Red Cross ambao wametusaidia leo kwa hii maji ya Losuk. Hii maji ni mingi, itatosha Losuk kabisa, na hii mahali tulikuwa tunataka kutafutia maji kwa county government.
According to the latest Global Hunger Index report for Kenya, it indicates that Kenya's population is growing at a faster rate of 19.6% than the country's 9.8% gross national income output. This comes in the wake of concerns over high unemployment rate that translates to high dependency rate on the employed.
We have gained 9.3 million extra mouths to feed in 4 years, compared to a marginal increase in Kenya's gross national income from $1,830 in 2019 to $2,010 per capita in 2021. This data presents an ugly picture of more poor people, an increase in the unemployment bracket, and poverty. This concurrently means more are eating poorer or with no food, or in poor health.
Furthermore, the ongoing prolonged drought has continued to worsen the situation, causing a food supply chain deficit. The year 2019 recorded 16.3 million Kenyans living below the $2. In 2022, the number reduced by 8.9 million people in extreme poverty assembly, but gained 9.3 million extra Kenyans due to the increase in population.
I want to make an appeal that we are not yet out of the woods. We are still in a very, very delicate situation, and definitely we need to continue supporting the Kenyans who are facing this challenge.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi placed a clarion call to the private sector, corporates, donors, international community and well-wishers to closely collaborate with the government in adopting solution-based approaches, as well as increase investment in agriculture, micro, small and medium enterprise, housing and settlement, healthcare, digital, superhighway and the creative industry, with the largest impact of the economy and household welfare.
The already existing food supply chain deficits have been worsened by increases in food prices. This has brought those on the margins of extreme poverty into the food deficit category due to the severe poverty.
Meanwhile, the Prime Cabinet Secretary stated that the government is working on a robust approach through the Government Economic Recovery Agenda Initiative geared towards economic turnaround and inclusive growth. Cecilia Lubanga, Look Up TV.
Thank you, Lubanga, for that story. Now to the western region, 2 gold miners are confirmed dead in Shinyalu, Sigala-Gala sub-county after a gold mine explosion that occurred yesterday in Kakamega County. The governor of Kakamega, Fernandez Baraza, has said the gold mines have no license to operate. Abigail Shira now reports.
As the exercise to rescue the stuck miners in Sigala-Gala continue, 2 miners are confirmed dead. One of the 8 who were rescued yesterday succumbed as he was receiving treatment at Kakamega Referral Hospital. Out of the 4 who were stuck, 2 were rescued and 1 was found dead. Kakamega County Governor Fernandez Baraza has addressed this matter, saying that there are mines that have not been licensed. He says that this is an issue to address in urgency to prevent a repeat of the same.
This is an issue that calls for urgent shareholders and stakeholders engagement between the 2 levels of government, bearing in mind that mining is domiciled in the national government, to ensure that people earn a decent living from the natural resources.
The family of the deceased are now asking the government to intervene and help to give their loved ones a worthy send-off.
Nimepoteza mtoto wangu mzuri sana mwenye hata ana maneno, Korea ana maneno, hata Korea hawezi ongelesha mtu vibaya. Nimehuzunika sana, naomba kutumunisaidie.
Kwa naomba kama serikali inaweza tusaidia ili tuweze kugharamia mazishi ya brother yangu.
Andrew Kibao calls upon his fellow miners to be careful and observe the safety measures as they undertake this job.
Bilangu ni kwa wachimba migodi wenzangu. Tafadhali tukianza shimo, tuianze kuijengea kwa fiti 5 kuendelea chini. Si ati tufikishe 20 alafu urudi juu. Hiyo itafanya usalama. Lakini saa zingine ndugu yangu, ajali haina kinga. Unaweza kuwa umevaa hiyo helmet, unaweza kuwa umejenga, si hata hii imejengwa, lakini imeporomoka. Sasa saa zingine ni ya Mungu mwenyewe.
For Look Up TV, my name is Abigail Shira.
And the Air Force chopper that carried the body of the late CS Professor George Magoha landed at Yala Township and then taken to St. Mary's Yala School, where the teachers and the learners paid their last respect to the fallen academician. Members of the public forced entry into his compound to bid the former CS goodbye as they viewed his body. Magoha has been eulogized as a perfect leader who is a good example that others can emulate. Magoha will be buried at his home tomorrow, Saturday.
We worked very closely. He was very instrumental in the development of CBC, and forever will remember him. I can remember him vividly when he came to our AGM, Annual General Meeting in Mombasa, together with a host of all the education sagas to attend our AGM so that the CBC can be a success. Many things he was instrumental in, particularly the development of classrooms, the development of labs for the CBC, and he was a person who was not mincing his words. When suggestions came about having mobile labs, he was adamant that was going to compromise education.
Now, I can say that the leadership of Professor Magoha impacted positively this school in terms of infrastructural development. Even where we are standing, you know, the cab road all the way from the gate into the school was done by his contribution when he was CS.
And today we are mourning somebody that you, the members of the Fourth Estate, have not given us a very good picture of who he is. Outside there, very authoritarian, very authoritative. That is far from Professor Magoha we knew here. Somebody that had children, especially from the destitute families, at heart. He could call me right in the middle of the night. I'm told students are being sent home at school. What do we do to try and rescue this? The students and the community around here have lost a gym that replacing is not anywhere closer. I can remember many a times we were looking for students from home. Those who went home could not afford to pay. I said, no, we could not send students home to stay at home if they can't. And I can tell you, this is a big loss to the children of this school, to the parents, and to the stakeholders of this family, of this great institution. His contribution to this institution is enormous. Not a week, not two will pass without asking, how are our children doing? Notwithstanding that he doesn't have a child here, but he was so passionate about it, and to make sure that our children are well taken care of, and all the issues that we presented to him, he gave us a very cordial responses, and we will miss him dearly.
And remember that story, we'll be covering the live proceedings, of course, the process, the burial tomorrow of the former Education CS George Magoha in Yala, Siaya County, so do keep it right here. Moving on, the business community at the coast has asked the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, to downplay Kenya Power's proposal to review power tariffs upwards. Speaking during a public hearing workshop in Mombasa, the investors warned that any upward adjustment to power tariffs will have a devastating impact on the cost of production. John Mukora now reports.
Following the proposed rates, domestic users and small businesses will face the highest increase as the utility firm seeks to revise the lifeline consumption band for both from the current 100 kilowatts per month to 30 kilowatts per month. The community is concerned that Kenya has one of the most exorbitant electricity charges in the world, and a slight increment on the cost could jeopardize the economy.
Serikali kama kabla haijapandisha bei ya stima, waangalie stima Kenya ni ngapi, Tanzania ni ngapi, hizi nchi jirani ni ngapi. Na kama ni ziko chini, basi ziombe huo umeme utoke kwao, tuweze kusaidika na hii watu chaji kwa ile nchi yao.
Ile tariff ambao tumekuwa nayo ilikuwa inaisha 31st of December 2022. Na kwa hivyo kukakuwa kunahitajika haya majadiliano ili tukaweze kujua ama decision ikaweze kufikiwa ni tariff ya aina gani ambayo itakuwa applicable katika miaka 3 ambayo inakuja.
Currently, domestic consumers of electricity pay 10 shillings per kilowatts for using between 0 to 100 units of power, with those consuming upwards of 100 units paying 15 shillings and 80 cents.
If you look at it with the increase in tariff, which currently it's 7 shillings, and with the increase they've put it at 11, that is an increase of 4 shillings. If you consider the maintenance cost and the electricity bills, maintaining the public infrastructure will be very expensive.
Still in business, the government has exported its consignment of 2.68 tons of value-added tea to Australia in a move aimed at enhancing the tea sector in the country. Speaking while flagging off the consignment at the port of Mombasa, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Lenturi has said the move will open a new market for tea in the country.
In the international market, the value tea will retail at $11.50 per kilogram compared to $2.50 per kilogram in the country. Agriculture CS Mithika Lenturi has said that the emergence of new foreign markets will benefit the sector as a result of the shaky Pakistan and Israel markets.
Kwa mara ya kwanza tunapeleka majani chai katika nchi ya Australia. Nataka kuwakumbusha Wakenya wote pale popote, this is a dream come true. This first consignment will be able to fetch $11 US per kilo from the current 2.5 shillings from the auction.
Kenya Tea Board Chairperson Dr. David Kiarie has called on the collaboration of stakeholders in the sector. Kiarie has also urged the government to solve the issue of taxation of tea packaging materials that has led to factory owners to export them from Sri Lanka.
The 33 million tons we have done this year, 733,000 tons are from the tea exports. So I congratulate also the CS and the ministry for the new initiative of getting into the new markets of specialized tea.
The beginning of a lot of good things to come in terms of value addition in Kenya and promoting Kenya as a single origin pure Kenyan tea in the entire world. So it is a great day for everybody.
Right, and from that business segment produced by Edwin Jomokora, we now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. KCB has opened up sponsorship worth $1 million towards the final leg of 2022-2023 Safari Tour to be held at Muthaiga Golf Club from 11th to 15th of February. This marks the second year the company will be supporting the region's professional golfers through the Safari Tour. The final leg will be accompanied by a prom event focusing on the amateurs that will play along the local and regional pros before the main players take over the stage on slate on 9th to 12th March at the Muthaiga Golf Club.